Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
And Polish murder.
and,
Beer.
Polish
Sorry.
sausage.
Yeah. I kind of buried the lead there, didn't I?
Polish sausage.
Yes.
You got a rim shot right out of the gate. But,
Yep, might as well.
yeah.
Keep that thing warmed up.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I'm sure we got... Oh, I was thinking about having a page of Polak jokes up on here, but
Man, I don't even need paper. I just got them. And the thing is like, I live in an area where there is the next town over, if you were to go west from here, has a huge, huge Polish population. And I'll tell you what, if you want people that have the thickest skin you've ever met when it comes to making jokes about them, look no further than the Polish.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because, they can take a joke. Matter of fact, a guy that I used to work with, he's got to be in his 70s by now, because he was about 65 when I worked with him. Lives in this one particular town that a lot of Polish immigrants came to back in the 1800s, because they came over and they worked in the marble quarries and all that. And they used to get referred to as stone peggers when they were kids.
Oh,
and
damn.
I was like, what the hell is a stone pegger? And he's like, oh, I can tell you all about that. So what they would do, because it's mostly like Polish and Irish over in that town, the kids would go out after school because they had nothing else to do, and they'd throw fucking rocks at each other.
Ah.
So stone peggers, yeah, they would just for fun get into rock fights.
Well, if you're
Welcome to small town
wondering
Vermont.
why we're talking about that, and if you're watching the video feed, if you're probably looking at the art that I have up there, it says two Polish nutjobs caught the vampire and an Ed Gein wannabe. So, but if you're wondering why the guy's sitting there crying next to a graveyard with a shovel, and yes, that is a sewing machine next to him.
You'll see.
And as far as why it is there, all I'm going to say is put a knife in that.
Correct. Yeah. Oh. Actually, I was going to say I don't have a knife here, but of course I have a knife within arm's reach. Why wouldn't I?
I do too, actually, somewhere. Actually,
well, you show me mine, I'll show you. Show me mine, I'll show you yours.
Well, mine's just a novelty knife that you get at roadside tourist traps out west.
Oh. Mine is I carry in the back of my pants knife.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
it's
yeah. But I thought it was cool. I bought it.
Yeah,
it's
why
dull.
not?
It's super dull.
Dude, knives are awesome. People don't give knives enough credit. They're a lot of fun. I mean,
but yeah, they are. But before we get started, you know how businesses will troll each other and stuff like that.
Yes, I follow Wendy's on Twitter, so yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm pretty familiar.
Oh yeah, Wendy's is part of that burger war thing, but that is hilarious.
Oh my god, Wendy's is vicious.
Well, the Tampa International Airport is pretty brutal too.
Oh, okay.
The airport, yes, the actual Facebook page and Twitter and all that of the Tampa International Airport. Right before we got started, I was looking at I was just scrolling through Facebook, and they posted. I follow them because they're hilarious, and I've flown out of there a couple times. But they took this picture of a site called Amazing Maps.
Mm-hmm.
And and it was a picture of a map of Russia, and it had a line going across it. It says you can drive 149 hours in Russia and still be in Russia. And then Tampa International Airport shared that picture, and then they posted, you can do that in Orlando too.
That's fantastic.
And oh god, Orlando is the worst. Anyway, all right. Well, History Goon's taking lead on this one. So the floor, the mic, the floor, whatever.
Floor is lava.
Yeah, that.
So, I think the best part to... Yeah. best place to start is by going over and, learning how to talk. Not like I've been doing this for, damn near a decade. Why would I learn how to talk now? So, September 29th, 1964, a woman named Maria Plichka was headed to church in Krakow, Poland. She worked at the church as a cleaner. Krakow was the second largest city in all of Poland, and pre-1596, it was actually the capital of the cursed nation of Poland.
You really should have let me, given me all these names, and I could have put sexy AI girl, do the pronunciation for you.
There's nothing sexy about Polish names, man.
This is true.
They all sound like pierogi companies.
No, but that woman on the Beast of Satan episode, I bet she could have made it sound kind of sexy.
I don't know. She had the Italian down. Like, Polish is just not an attractive language. It's kind of like
Poalo.
it's like if you mixed Russian, which sounds angry all the time, and German, that also sounds angry all the time.
So they sound really angry all the time?
Yeah, like they it's not an attractive language, I would say.
Okay.
Not one of the what the hell are they? The romance languages with like Italian, French,
Pig Latin.
Yeah, all those. French Canadian. The Wisconsin accent, the sexiest of all accents. Well, when it comes to the United States, that's like, man, that's got to be top 3 worst for me. It's right after like Brooklyn and Boston, which are essentially the same thing. They stretch different vowels out differently, right. And jeepers creepers, is that a fucking terrible accent? Or the like the Philadelphia and North Jersey accent's a little weird for me too. But after you hear it enough, you're like, I can manage that.
Yeah.
But then, you just go east of me and you cross the border and everybody sounds like they're in a Stephen King book. So, so at this point, Maria, our cleaner, is 86 years old, meaning that she has seen some shit. She's lived her whole life in Poland. She lived through the Nazis. She's currently living through the Soviets. She lived.
What
through
year was this?
1964.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're right in the heart of the loving communism rolling into Poland and making life better for everybody, like so communism does.
Oh yeah, like always. But yeah. So this is the black and white guy?
Yeah.
In the picture? Okay.
Yeah. It's like, well, they didn't have color TV in Poland until 2006, so. I kid, but I love the Polish. Like, seriously, go listen to I'm going to plug my show. Go listen to my Jan Sobieski episode, the King of Poland that kicked an indeterminate number of Ottoman asses directly.
What's that podcast?
That's History Goon podcast, my friend. And it's also his charge at the end of that episode is what directly inspired the Ride of the Rohirrim in Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
He is responsible for the largest cavalry charge in human history at 20,000 plus horses.
Damn.
Yeah. They like the winged hussars arrived and all that, and they whatever, so and so, yada yada, down a mountainside. And then yeah, we've all heard the song, at least the two of us have.
Correct.
So she's lived a very interesting life. She probably potentially lost friends and family into the meat grinder of the concentration camps of World War II. And obviously living under Soviet control isn't all that much better. No. And that's one of the things that bothers me in history is you can mention Adolf Hitler and Pol Pot and Mao and all these guys in the same breath, but for some reason we forget to put Stalin in there, who was just as bad, if not worse, than all of them.
Well, he was an enemy of my enemy type scenario with the U.S.
Yeah, but I often think George Patton had it right, where it's like, yeah, the war's not really over. We got rid of this one. We got to keep going.
Yeah.
But I digress. And I can go off on a 12-hour tangent about all the evils of communism, but we won't do that. If you want that, you can come to my show. So she worked at this church 5 days a week. She never once took a paycheck. The only form of payment that she took were meals from the monastery that she would only eat on the days that she was working. So basically, she got paid with lunch and dinner. The rest of it is volunteer work. She kind of did this as a way to like get out and like interact with other people and to help the church that she had attended her whole life. The morning of the 29th, which was a Tuesday, she took the train to Jana Street and walked to the church from there. Dropped my fidget device that I have to have.
This is mine.
I've got a pen because I have to. I haven't had a cigarette in, I don't know, 4 months, but I still get like that. Like if I'm not doing something, I get that urge to whatever. So I have to have something in my hand or else my autism wins. So she walks into the church. She's doing her thing. She taps the holy water, crosses herself, and then starts in to go to work. She notices a young man enter the church behind her and really didn't think anything of it. It's a pretty popular church. There's people always coming and going, doing their daily thing. She didn't think anything of it until she felt a sharp pain in her back, and then she hit the floor. Within a few minutes of Maria hitting the floor, the attacker had run away. The nuns are actually the ones that found her. The first thought was that the old woman had had a heart attack, but then they started
saw the blood.
Exactly. Then they noticed the blood on the floor, and they're like,
But how did they do that when everything's in black and white?
Yeah, good question. I think you have to taste test it. Is this piss? Is this blood? This is blood. Thank God it's not piss again. So while she's laying on the floor bleeding, she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. Young boy. Young boy. She was rushed to the hospital where she would unfortunately, sadly die from her wounds the next day.
Damn it.
A few days before that, on the 21st, 43-year-old Helene Velgen went into the Covenant of the Sacred Heart in Krakow, which is a different church. She spotted and took. Jesus Christ! Sorry, I probably shouldn't. Whoop, talking about a church. She found a spot and took a knee to throwing up to the big guy, and she notices a younger-looking man, possibly in his mid to late teens, praying in the same area as her, just a few seats down. He gets up and walks by her, and she thought that he just bumped into her in passing, and then he left the church and vanished into the street. She didn't think anything of it. Just, incidental contact. That's not even a penalty anymore, is it?
No.
Yeah. As long as it's within 10 yards or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it, but...
Personal foul. Stabbing an old lady. 15-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Yeah.
So as she was leaving a shop, after she has left the church, she's on her way home. She stops to grab a couple things at a grocery store, like a little market kind of deal. The guy at the counter asked her if she knew that she was bleeding through the back of her shirt. And she's
shit.
What are you talking about? So she immediately went to the hospital. And the next day, after getting out of having medical attention and all that stuff done, she goes to the cops, and they felt that this whole, you being stabbed thing, not a huge deal. We're not going to bother even looking into it.
Nah, because stabbing somebody isn't really a crime or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, it's just you kind of frown on it, but it's no big deal.
The sad thing is the same thing is happening in Europe now, but not in Poland. Because Poland is one of the few countries in Europe that's just no, we're not dealing with this bullshit again. We've been through enough. Germany can have it. France can have it. No, we're good. They're actually one of the only countries in Europe that has fairly lenient gun laws too. You can just be a dude and own a gun.
Poland?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can you blame them?
Not at That'd be like being, I don't know, Czech or Lithuanian and being like, no, I'm going to own a rifle. In case those scumbags come in from the east again, or those scumbags come in from the west again, because you never know when they might start feeling froggy again. September 23rd, 76-year-old Francesca Landowska was at a shop buying an apron for herself and for her coworkers at the canteen that she worked at, because this is back when you had, like, public cafeterias, basically, because communism. Which makes me wonder. I wonder if she ever got paid back for those. Probably not. Right?
Probably not.
Yeah. These are our aprons, comrade. So when she gets back to work at around 1 p.m., she noticed a shooting, sharp pain in her back. She very quickly starts feeling pretty ill and passes out. Thankfully, a coworker and the manager found her, and they got her up to her feet. They didn't know that the stab wound had hit a pretty important nerve that made it so she couldn't move her legs. They ended up getting her to the hospital in time to save her life, though, thankfully.
Oh, that's good.
Right. So, I mean, and she didn't lose use of her legs or anything like that. At least not immediately. So that's a plus. Fuck, I lost my spot here. The local community couldn't figure out why someone would want to, like, hurt this lady. She's always been helpful in the neighborhood. She pretty often spent her free time helping, like, feed the needy and helping pretty much anybody that needed it. One of the thoughts was that this is motivated by the fact that she was a Jew, and considering, like, the climate in the area for things like that, it's not necessarily beyond the realm of possibility.
Right.
Because in the grand scheme of things, the last two times Poland has been invaded, neither one of those people have been a real big fan of the Jews. We tend to not even forget, just ignore that the Russians were also putting them in concentration camps, or just straight up killing them, like, by the truckload too. But tiny mustache man bad, big mustache man okay. Just don't, and I think people like that have ruined it. That's why world leaders can't have facial hair anymore, because it's like I don't know.
Well, I don't plan on being a world leader ever.
Correct. Me either. I've had I've got too long to be a politician.
Well, I've got all that too, but I've got enough gray hair as it is.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't have control of my own life. I don't want to have control of everybody else's.
Right?
All right. So when asked later if she remembered anything, like if she was like had been bumped into or anything like that, she's like, yeah, there was a younger man in a school uniform that bumped into me. And the only thing she could really like bring forward to the front of her mind as like an identifier is that his uniform had a red shield patch on it. So this meant that he's either in high school or some type of tech school. So he's not a middle schooler. He's in like the higher grades. This attack again went uninvestigated because the news sources only report state-sanctioned stuff, and the state couldn't give a wet fart about a stabbed old woman in Krakow. Again, God bless communism. So this brings us to where we kind of started with the initial attack on Maria. And now the police are forced to not ignore it anymore. The general public is on edge. The streets are empty, even though it was unseasonably warm for a fall. And when women went out in public, they created like kind of like homemade body armor, because they were tying frying pans to their backs under clothing to keep from getting shivved in the streets. Which is it's a pretty smart move, considering the killer never struck anybody from the front. He was always stabbing them in the back, and generally like in the lower back, because like you have your hands in your pockets, so you can just out of your pocket stick somebody in the kidney or whatever, because it's lower in your back, and just hand back in your pocket and you're on the move. So I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better than getting stabbed.
Correct.
The police are completely stumped. All they have to go on was it's a younger, dark-haired man that was still in school in some way, shape, or form. They start targeting known criminals and released convicts, and they come up completely dry there. He didn't leave any evidence at any of the scenes. He didn't take anything from the victims. He didn't sexually assault anybody. And this made it even more dangerous because he's motivated not by any of that stuff, but by the thrill of just hurting people.
Nice guy.
Yeah, this gives off a lot of like Israel Keys vibes where, yes, he was sexually assaulting people, but I think he got off more on just hurting people than he did anything else.
Right.
And that's the scary part. Almost a year and a half would pass before the next attack, which kind of gives the public a chance to like collectively take a breath, and things are starting to go back to normal. And that's when the most brutal of these attacks would happen. They don't often do this, but this is, I'm going to give you a warning because this is a crime against a child. Okay?
Ah, damn.
11-year-old Lesnick Kalik was coming home from a sledding competition that he wasn't allowed to take part in because his rig was damaged. He's disappointed. He's upset, naturally, because he had to sit and watch all of his buddies have fun and go sledding and stuff, and he can't do it because, he's got a cracked board or something on it. He's headed home with his head hanging, and he met an older boy with dark hair that asked him what was going on. And Lesnick explained everything, and the older boy listened for a little bit and then produced a knife and attacked him.
Oh.
Yeah, he would stab Lesnick 11 times. Each and every single one of these wounds is somewhere where it would have been considered a fatal wound on its own. And he fell face first into the snow, and our unknown killer at this point in time, according to him, stood there and watched him die.
And nobody else is around.
Nobody else is around. Lesnick's body was found later in the day by a man that had thought that the poor kid had fainted, and by the time he got the boy to a local cafe and rounded up the police, so many people had trampled through the area that any evidence that was there was completely destroyed.
It's kind of like, he thought he had passed out. It's kind of like the whole mannequin thing. It's never a mannequin. It's never somebody that passed out.
Yep. But I mean, at the same time, you're just like, oh shit, this kid's like, there's something going on here, and I can see why where he was coming from there. He's trying to do the right thing, but unfortunately ends up being the completely wrong thing to do. Now parents are starting to tell their children, you're not playing outside. You don't go anywhere alone. 8-year-old Magosha P., that's all we have for her last name, had been homesick for a few days, and she was kind of eager to get outside. She was starting to feel a little bit better, a little cooped up. She wants to get out of the apartment for a little bit. And her mother finally says, yes, you're allowed to, but all you can do is go downstairs to the mailbox, because there's like an internal wall of mailboxes. It's like a big apartment complex. She gets down there, and there's a young man sitting on one of the steps, and he says hello to her as she brushed past him. Then she suddenly felt someone grabbing her tightly and choking her. The young man stabbed her 8 times, then ran out of the building.
Damn.
Somehow, she survived this.
Well, I'm glad.
She gets back to her feet, and she limps all the way back upstairs, and her mother opens the door, and all she says is some man had attacked her, and then immediately passed out when her mother touched her. Again, thankfully, they were able to save this girl. She made a full recovery from anything. I didn't find anything that she didn't have a fairly normal, other than being stabbed, life after this. She told police about her attacker, and that they knew it was the same man who had killed this other kid. But that's all they knew. They don't know who this guy is. All they know is he's definitely responsible for killing this other child. He's responsible for this one. We don't really know from there. The day of the attack, a passing cab driver got a really good look at a young man that was walking out of this apartment building and gave the investigation team the best, most detailed description that they had had so far. Did I mention we were talking like Soviet era politics here, though?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of trust for cabbies because they were independent contractors. They didn't work for the state in any way, shape, or form. So they didn't follow up with us at all. Like, didn't even bring the guy in to talk to him again. Just, that's it. We're good.
Ah, okay. Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah. The police start instead going back through what they have for evidence, which is not a whole hell of a lot. They come up with a general description and the patch. So they start canvassing all the schools, and then they come up empty again. Until...
Bum, bum, bum.
Until a 22-year-old college student named Danuta came forward about a weird encounter that she'd had. She was part of the shooting club at the at the Academy of Fine Arts in Krakow, which is fucking wild to think about that. You have a shooting club at the University of Fine Arts.
Well,
You know.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, why not? I mean, shooting's an art form. Look at the guy from freaking what in the Olympics. Where was he from?
Oh, that Turkish
yeah,
guy?
Turkey. Yeah,
that looks like he just got done mowing his lawn and showed up in fucking sweatpants and dominated.
yeah. That was art.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I go to MIT. Oh, really? What do you do there? Learning about how to hang drywall. You know, it makes as much sense. Not that there's anything wrong with hanging drywall. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
I make pretty, survivable money off of it, I guess. Not going to say good, but it's I don't have to starve for the most part. So she's part of the shooting club, and her coach asked her to kind of like mentor a younger member of the club. She agreed and almost immediately regretted it because this kid is a fucking oddball. Within the first few times of them meeting, he had come on to her pretty frequently. And eventually, after being turned down 2 or 3 times, he told her, "I'm going to kill myself if you don't have sex with me." Who does that sound like, Bill?
That sounds like Lapine.
Yeah, or the other fat bastard that beat his girlfriend to death.
Oh yeah, Brian Lewis.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Not the guy that I know.
No. So she didn't have sex with him, and unfortunately, and I'm not usually one to condone suicide, unfortunately, he didn't kill himself. If you're having thoughts of hurting yourself, please don't do it. It's not worth it. But if you're having thoughts of hurting other people...
And then have thoughts of hurting yourself, go ahead.
Yeah. If you're like, I'm going to go shoot up a mall and then shoot myself, maybe reverse the order and see if that helps. He did start getting into he starts getting into his freak shit. And she was not into it at all. And she just had to sit there and listen to him talk about this stuff. She's still frustrated he is still frustrated that she won't hook up with him. So one day during practice, he cracks off around in her direction when she was going downrange to change targets, because this is before they had like the automated like pulley systems and all that. So he accidentally, in air quotes, cracks off a rifle round in her direction. They were then sent out in paired hiking groups, and of course he's being mentored by her, so she's in his group. And he told her, "If you don't have sex with me, I'm going to cut your throat." Again, this is not the right woman to do this with. Because she told him basically, if you do something stupid, everyone's going to know. So then she also set him up an appointment with a school psychologist. He didn't really know about it until he showed up. And
it's kind of like an intervention.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably exactly what it was, an intervention.
Yeah, like, meet me in this one particular room, and maybe we'll do something. And he walks in, and there's just some dude sitting there like, "Hi, have a seat on my couch. We're going to talk about your fucking brain."
Yeah.
So the psychologist found that he was, quote, addicted to masturbating and had an excessive interest in eroticism and depression. Our bad guy, not the therapist. We don't know about him. Maybe.
Right.
We have to talk to his therapist about his shit. So, what do you think the psychologist did here, Bill? Because I can tell you right now, we could sit here until 5 o'clock in the morning. You will never guess what this psychologist did.
Hold on. Okay. Psychologist.
Yep.
After saying that he has a masturbation problem.
Yep.
He whipped it out and did it himself so that to try and disgust the guy.
Like when your parents catch you smoking cigarettes.
Right. He's like, "Oh, you want to masturbate so much? Here, watch me."
That may have been more effective. No, he prescribed him vitamin. He prescribed him vitamin B and kicked him out of his office.
That was my next guess.
Vitamin fucking B, like
vitamin B.
Oh my god, like. Like B12 that you take after you eat in lane when you're like crazy hungover and it helps a little bit. Yeah, no, here, it's fine. It'll give you a little bit of energy, When Danuta came back into contact with him, he started his shit all over again. But this time he screwed up and mentioned the attack on the little girl. That's when Danuta went to the police.
Sorry about that. A little late there.
You're good.
A little late there.
That's when she went to the police and said that this man is a problem. And his name just so happens to be Carol Cott. That's Carol with a K, if you're curious.
Carol with a K. And I thought that was pretty funny on the episode description because, caught the vampire. Like, caught him.
Which actually ties into my most recent episode of History Goon that comes out as of time of recording in approximately 4 hours where I talk about a vampire.
Oh. But, well, okay, let me explain something about the artwork. The reason I caught the vampires because I saw that, but, in what you sent me when I was making, went to go make the thing. But when I just did the Ed Gein wannabe, I wasn't going to try to copy and paste that name, his name.
No, that's a terrible name, isn't it?
Yeah, and besides that, I think Ed Gein wannabe would grab people's attention better than the 15-letter name that he has with like 12 consonants in it.
The Kielbasa Company? Again, I'm not actually like anti-Polish. You guys are just really fun to pick on because you can take it and then you give it right back. Unlike some people, the Polish have a pretty good sense of humor when it comes to picking on them.
Right.
The Irish do too. We'll give them credit.
Yeah, so do podcasters.
Yeah. And the English do too, as long as they're actually Scottish, and then you're harassing the English and they love it. It's like,
okay.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment about Velcro gloves in Wales, but we won't go there. So, Carol Cott was born December 16th, 1946 in Krakow. He came from a fairly normal family. His dad was an engineer, and of course his mom is a homemaker because that's kind of what women did back then.
Right.
She did also work with the League of Women, whatever that is.
It's a league of women.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there was a female league that the Germans had that was a little bit different than that, I assume. But, the family lived
the Russians had a league of women too. They flew airplanes.
That's true. And they also had some snipers. But again, communism is nothing more than equal opportunity chance to die for the state against your will. Which,
correct.
It doesn't even have to be in combat. We'll just let you die for the state of starvation, like they did in Ukraine for about 20 years in the middle of the war. We'll be taking all that grain, thanks. The family lived in an apartment in a fairly decent part of town, and he really, as a kid, kind of he wanted for nothing. They were pretty, I'm not going to say they were very well off, but they would have been solidly middle class,
Right.
His life changed when he was 8 years old and his younger sister was born. He's no longer the center of attention, and he is not happy about that.
No, poor guy.
I know. What a poor, disadvantaged child. He was an asshole to his sister. And to really drive that home, he admitted that when the two were left alone, when she was still an infant, he would punch her and push her around. He was also mean to pets, including tormenting and beating animals, including the family dog, which, fuck you. If you hurt dogs, fuck you. Yeah. God. I mean, cats I get, right? But dogs?
Leave
seriously?
the cats alone. Hey, you're forgetting what show you're on.
I knew it was going to get it was going to get a rise out of somebody.
No, man. I mean, he's still here. He's still here. That's the powder blue sippy cup for Todd the crazy cat lady right there. And there will be no disrespect of cats on CKCB ever.
And God help me if David and Sarah from Macabre Emporium hear that one. for years, whenever they mentioned anything about my old show, they never even called us out by name. They just called us the Dog Show because we both own dogs, and they were like, one of us was allergic to cats. I'm just not particularly whatever. Some cats are fine. Then most of them suck. But orange cats, fuck, you give me a fucking orange cat, golden, because they are dumb, but they're fun.
History again.
Seriously, I have between my mom and my grandmother, I have never had an orange cat that had more than a half a dozen brain cells to rub together, and they were just the happiest animal on the face of the earth.
I like cats.
They're cool. So dumb, but they're just hey.
Cats are cool.
They're all right. Don't get rodents. Been there, done that. Bad idea.
Well, I used to breed snakes.
Fuck that. Mm-mm.
I have a tooth embedded into my hand.
Of course you used to breed snakes. You're from Florida. You have to do that to get your driver's license, don't you?
Nah, they stopped that a while back.
Oh. You gotta walk into the DMV and now kiss. There you go. You don't even have to do a test now. You brought the bonuses. His teachers all through school, they really liked him. Even though he was when he was in high school, his grades started to fall apart, but they still liked him. They still thought he was a good kid. They thought he's just the nicest, most polite student in school.
Of course.
His classmates, on the other hand, thought he was a prick.
And he probably was.
His go-to move was to randomly punch people in the stomach while they were walking down the hall, just completely unprovoked. I think we all went to high school with that kid, though,
Yeah.
Yeah, just somebody who was just a douchebag for no reason.
There was this guy when I was in junior high school. It was a two-story school. That's relevant. But there was this guy where if you didn't get into a fight with this dude, you were doing something wrong.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he was just determined to fight everybody. And more often than not, he'd get his ass kicked. But
I love that.
and looking back on it, I kind of wonder if maybe he had some problems at home.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it came my turn. And I was about to come down the stairs, and dude came up to me. He's like, "Selby," and I saw who it was. I'm like, here we go. So he grabs me, and we wind up like falling down the stairs together. But he hit first, and I landed on top of him. I got up, I put my knee on his shoulder, and I drew back my hand like this, and he's like, "Fuck you, man." And,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
he got up and he walked off. Now, years later, he held up 7-Eleven and shot and murdered the clerk. And
Jesus Christ! Okay.
And he was. I think. Somebody told me about this. But I think he wound up getting life in prison for that.
God
I
damn.
don't know. So he. So anyway,
I think the best one I had in high school was it was about 10th grade. There was a kid that I had a bunch of classes with that got hit by a truck he was out on his 4-wheeler, and he got hit by a truck and broke both of his legs. One of them not so badly, but the other one pretty badly. So instead of being in a wheelchair, they gave him crutches and like a boot, because it was the one leg that didn't get broken so bad was he could still walk on it. And a kid neither one of us liked decided one day to walk up and kick one of his crutches out from underneath him. And I watched it happen. And then he proceeded to stand there and laugh at him while I helped him up. And then I grabbed this guy by the waist and kind of like half German suplexed him into a wall. And he is then standing there because I'm making him stand there. And I watched this kid beat the dog fuck out of him with a metal crutch.
oh,
I held him by like the knees. He just fucking wailed on him.
damn.
It's like, hell, he deserved it. He was a prick. He didn't kill anybody, but he owns a construction business now, so he's still a dickhead. But now he just has people that work for him that also think he's a dickhead.
But he pays their bills.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of dickheads, this guy would also, any chance he got,
Good
brag
segue.
I'm pretty good at that. Any chance he got, he would brag about his collection of knives and other sharp objects.
Wait a minute. Weren't we doing that at the beginning of the episode?
Yeah, like collecting knives is totally normal as long as you're like you don't have a chemical imbalance or anything.
Oh, true.
You know, or like live in London. And that's not even a joke. That's serious.
I know. It's still
That's
funny.
the sad part, yeah. Sometimes he would carry a knife to school to show it off during breaks. I mean, who didn't do that? And he would also imitate violent attacks with his knife, which is a little weird. He feigned ripping open a fellow student's body and slitting their throat, thinking that this would impress other kids, especially girls, to be like, I'm going to like pretend fucking disembowel somebody at school.
That's that all the ladies. They're like, okay,
how do you think I got married? Is I pretended to kill somebody in front of her. She's like, that's pretty awesome. You know. When he was in his early teens, he visited the countryside with his family on vacation. One day, as you do, he got bored. He starts wandering around the area, and he just so happened to find an active slaughterhouse.
Oh, boy.
So he was initially chased off by employees, but later he returned, and they just like, whatever, and they just let him watch while they worked. Okay? Couple days later, because he has been there every day since they were like, yeah, that's fine, just watch. A couple days later, one of them like waved him into the thing and was like, here, go ahead. And they let him kill a calf. This was hoping that this would scare him off. And another thing they did to try to scare him off was be like, here, if you're going to be cool like us, you have to drink a cup of warm blood. And instead of being like, that's a little bit too much and running away, he drank the whole goddamn thing. And apparently, the guy that handed it to him vomited and walked away. It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. He had a recollection of this time. Quote, I went on holidays with my parents. We went to a place called Pickham, I believe. PCIM is, I think it's Pickham. Pim. Maybe it's Pim. I don't know. I can't type or read. It was boring there. So I went to the slaughterhouses and assisted in killing the calves. I liked the sight and finally got a taste of warm blood. I drank the blood of a calf and of a hog. Then I killed frogs, chickens, rooks, which are another kind of bird, moles, and calves. I like to poke out the eyes of the birds, rake their guts, and lick their blood. When I had an air gun at home, when I had an air gun at home, so I'm assuming that got taken away, I would shoot rooks. I would shoot books. What the fuck did I say here? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I would shoot books. I would shoot the meat that my mother brought to dinner to test the energies and strengths of the bullet. I used the knife as well. At first, it was just a fancy. I really liked the profile of the knives. I collected them, bought them, replaced them, ordered knives according to my designs. I always carried one with me. I love them, and so I think it was probably my greatest love for the object. For me, the knife was a living thing. It was me. Some try-hard, like, I listened to a little bit too much Slayer as a kid, kind of, you know. The knife is part of me, man.
By the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I am making this. I'm making a second picture because we're going to make this a two-part. We're going to do them both. We're going to do them both tonight, but we're going to make this a two-part.
Okay, sounds good. This part is coming up to a close here fairly quickly, like the next page and a half or so.
Okay. Well, how long is the next one going to be?
Right around the same length.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay. I was thinking we were going to be over an hour on this one, and then the same thing on the next one. If that was the case, I was just going to chop it into two parts.
We'll probably be about an hour on each after editing and all that, I would think. Maybe.
Okay.
The other one's a little bit quicker.
Okay.
In his mid-teens, Cott devoted himself entirely to his two passions, weapons and killing animals. He was eager to further his knowledge of weaponry and joined a rifle club where he could express his passion openly and show off his weaponry skills in a legitimate setting, which is kind of a smart thing to do. If you want to shoot guns and you want to show off how good you are at shooting guns, you join the gun club. You know?
Right.
Especially if it's something where they're like, hey, we'll pay for your ammo to come shoot. And then you're like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would do that because ammo is expensive. Yeah, I mean, a box of 20 rounds for an AR-15 should not cost me almost $20. That's insane.
Right.
And God help me if I ever wanted to buy ammo for that thing behind me again. Almost fucking $2 a round. He soon became the coach's favorite, and the coach saw absolutely nothing wrong with him, and he fully supported him because he was really good. But for the young, eagle-eyed gunman, it was all part of a larger picture. His shooting license gave easy access to firearms, to shoot birds, and to walk around freely with guns and ammunition. Over time, he began to develop his secret murderous passions. Yeah. Apart from shooting and expanding his knife collection, he added the study of human anatomy to his list of interest as well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is... Anybody that was paying even like a passing amount of attention to this kid would be like, something's fucky here. I think we need to send you somewhere. While exploring the knowledge about, the aorta, human hearts and veins, he started to quickly learn the most efficient way to get to those things and get the blood out, you know? He made notes about what length of blade to use on specific body parts.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a red flag, you know, I would think.
Just a little bit.
Like you're doing your kid's laundry and they're like, I need a 6-inch knife to get to the heart, but I have to come in on just the right angle. You're not going to just like throw that in the trash and be like, meh. Like, hey, buddy, let's talk. Because like his dream, the thing that he is fantasizing about the most at this stage in his life, is what it would be like to kill a person.
Of course he was.
He belonged to the Volunteer Civic Militia Reserve, which is an organization that was there to basically strengthen the Communist Party in Poland. Call it like it's exactly what it is. It's a militia. His membership offered certain privileges, such as avoiding vehicle police checks and allowing access to institutions. Part of his duty in this organization was he was part of the detachment that was sent out to look for Lesnik Kalik's murderer.
So he's one of these people like searching the woods with the search party to
Yep.
for the person that he killed.
Yep. No word as to whether he actually volunteered himself to do that or if he was voluntold to be part of it.
I bet he's volunteered.
I
bet he volunteered.
could totally see him just being like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll go help you look," just to see if like maybe he fucked up and left something there. You know what I mean?
No, he just wants to be in there to see everything, be part of every bit of it. Yeah, a lot of killers do that.
And the other thing
Ed Kemper did that.
The other thing it did is it gave him access to information about the investigation that's going on.
Correct. Well, that's the other reason to do it.
So the police, when they start their investigation, they get to the point where they're going to let him finish his high school stuff. Like they want him to get through his final exams, not as an act of kindness, but because if he does all this stuff, it'll put him at legal age for the Polish law enforcement system to actually target him. But he's probably thinking though, like if he passes these exams, he's going to be, whatever. And so at this point they have him. Oh, hold on here. Fuck. I'm sorry. Okay. On the first day of June 1966, the day after his final exams, Carol Cott took a shotgun and ammunition into the forest to shoot birds. Unfortunately, he was not a bird.
Well, there we go. So, there you go, Cott. There's a bird for you.
Yeah, fuck you, idiot. Police are keeping an eye on him, and they did not want to risk another murder, so they arrested him and took him in for questioning. They also searched his house against his mother's wishes and found his knife collection and all of the notebooks with all of the notes. In the end, the police managed to break the cold-blooded Carol Cott down. Once he started talking, he could not stop. He gave them all the information and then a bunch of other stuff about his weird shit that he was into. He walked the streets of Krakow with investigators who recorded a video of him reenacting the crimes. The young prisoner seemed to have the time of his life while he was doing this. He's smiling at the camera. He's very eager to pose for photos. And of course, they gave him a rubber knife to reenact all this stuff. And we need a lady to test this on, so they have a female police officer. And at one point in time, when showing them about one of the stabbings, he hit her so hard with this rubber knife that he actually knocked her over.
Oh.
The police and this whole little group here went from one crime scene to another, and there's a TV crew that was following them the entire time, too. On the 14th of July, 1967, Carol Cott, who is now known as the Vampire of Krakow, was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. This part, Bill, this part. This is so, like...
Premature yelling?
No.
Oh.
Like, if you wanted to hit BTK for being a pompous douchebag, you're going to love this.
Okay.
When one of the judges, because this is not like a jury thing, this is a tribunal. You have a handful, like I think it's like 2 or 3 judges. I think it's 3, because you have to have a tiebreaker in case 2 disagree. One of the judges asked whether or not he felt sorry for anyone involved. And he replied, quote, "Yes, of course, myself." I fucking hate this kid.
How old was he actually?
Let's see, he was born in 1946.
Okay. And this is when?
And right now, we are in 1967. Tail end of 1967.
So he is 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before he was executed, he had this to say, quote, "I don't regret anything. If I could, I would murder again. Suffering of the victims gave me happiness. I had grand criminal goals, and I deeply regret not achieving them. I plan to kill I plan to kill adults and children. Killing anything was fulfilling my dreams. I wanted to be, and I was, the executioner of people, even though I was thinking of a greater slaughter, a real large crematorium. If there was a war, I would like to be the head of a concentration camp. I would cut off women's breasts and put them under the helmets of soldiers so that they would not feel the pressure on their heads. I dreamed... Tell me you don't know how titties work without telling me you don't know how titties work.
Right?
I dreamed of mass murders in gas chambers, roundups, and the dismemberment of people. I wanted to murder all the women except maybe 2, my sister and my cousin. Unfortunately, I did not make it."
So I think he's in cell 1.
Huh?
I think he's in cell 1.
Man, I don't know. I can't really even put him in the category of an incel because he fucking hated everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
But still.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I've ever used the gunshot sound effect before. I've been waiting for an opportunity, but there it is. No. The first and only time I've used it before this episode was Gary Pluchet.
Give me 2 in the chest, 1 in the head, real quick. There we go. May 16th, 1968. After confessing to a priest, lighting a cigarette, and drinking a glass of water, he was allowed to say goodbye to his relatives. A calm and obedient Carol Cott went to the gallows at 6:50 p.m. as a convicted murderer. Also, as a convicted murderer, he lost all of his civil rights, and his parents were not told where he was being buried.
Well,
also, communism.
They probably
you're going in a fucking hole with 40 other people.
I mean, they wouldn't care. I mean, I doubt his parents would have cared anyway.
Yeah, well, the people of Krakow obviously point fingers at the family, blaming them for quote-unquote raising the devil and allowing him into society. His mother really did love him, and it shows because after he was executed, she didn't leave the house. Didn't leave the house for 2 years after he was executed. Yeah. So, mom was kind of a little distraught, I guess, would be the...
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, but again, though, like, fuck him, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what it would be like to raise a monster. You know? It'd be a kind of a harrowing thing to go through, to be like, oh man, my kid sucks.
Well, yeah.
thankfully, I don't think I have to worry about that. My son's pretty cool. You know.
Seems to be.
All right.
It's your dog you got to worry about.
Yeah. He's a goddamn menace to society.
He's an adorable menace. He's a good boy.
Dude, the other day when I was recording, he came up on my left-hand side, and, like, I knew it was there because I could hear his tail thumping against the door, which is fine. And I've got my microphone right where it is now. I shit you not, he jumped, and his belly was here.
Oh, damn.
And he went straight up and then bloomp right into my lap, like in my crotch. I'm like, oh my God. And he just looks at me. It's like, dude, you weigh 40 pounds. You're not supposed to be doing this shit. All right. Are you ready to... What's that?
So was he just chunked into a mass grave?
They didn't even say. They
No.
just executed his ass. So they probably had a handful of other people that they executed that same day.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they were just like, see ya.
All right. What we're gonna do here, people, is I know this is episode 172 or 171 and everything. That's what it said. But now check this out, people, because this is now episode 171, part
B.
2 or part one, and this is the in case you're wondering on video what the hell I was doing while he was talking, I was paying attention because I was part of it. But this is now the episode. All right, so we got part 1 right there, and with an arrow right next to this chucklehead. So thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it.
I love how that, like, I like how that artwork came out where it looks really good, but it also looks like rushed through, which I fucking love, because it looks like the kind of thing I would do where I'd just be like, just scribble something. I'd be like, 2.
But well, that's an actual font. I didn't just freehand that with paint.
I love it.
But anyway, thanks a lot for listening, everybody. We appreciate the hell out of it. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff and everything. Do it for CKCB. Do it for History Goon.
Yes.
And until next week. Later.
Goodbye.